Welcome, everybody,
to your morning cup
with iBenz Academy.
I'm Ash.
And I'm Kara. We're Cash. And today we have some amazing special guests on the call, our facilitators for the Instant Manifestation Workshop.
We're so excited to bring our facilitators on to meet with everybody and just share their stories and insights around their experience in the Instant Manifestation Workshop and iBenz method. Our facilitators all started out as students of the Instant Manifestation Workshop.
Yep, we've been through it all. We've done the work. We've come out the other side. And now we're taking on an additional role as a facilitator. So what is a facilitator, Ash?
Well, our facilitator's job is to create ease for students in the workshop.
Yes, make it easy for students to complete, because we're in the business of course completion. We want instant manifestors on the planet. We want to be successful in the work that we're doing. So that's why we have gathered a team of amazing people who have fabulous superpowers, who are here to be your good allies and good counsel for the workshop as a student.
So why don't we go around and introduce our facilitators? We're going to start with Alex first. Alex, if you could just tell us, obviously I said your name, but tell us your name, where you're from, and let us know which Instant Manifestation Workshop you attended.
Hello, everybody. My name is Alex, as Ash already said. I live in Romania, so I was born here in Romania. And I attended the Instant Manifestation Workshop back in 2021.
Nice. You attended in person, right? At the Shaman Shack?
Yeah. Amazing experience.
Well, I know even when you came out to the Shaman Shack, that was like a massive instant manifestation in itself, when travel was at the peak of being restricted for COVID and all these different elements to being able to go across the globe really came up, but you worked through it, no problem, and you got right there.
With this amazing tribe, easy peasy.
Exactly. All right, next, let's go with Ileana.
Hi everybody. So I'm in the Olympic Peninsula. I'm part of this amazing tribe, now talking about Allies and Counsel here. And I attended the Instant Manifestation Workshop, the presential, the #1, when we got all together in person. And yeah, it was amazing. It was just really, really incredible. So inspiring.
We're so happy to have you here. Thank you so much for joining, Ileana.
Thank you.
I don't think this guy needs an introduction, but let's hear from Larry.
Wait, who?
Oh.
Nervous. I don't know what to say.
You can start. I'm Larry.
I'm Larry.
I'm an instant manifester.
Yes, I am an instant manifester, thanks to this training. And it's remarkable.
Yeah.
And I'm fun so far. And I'm going to be on the next one too.
Yep. Yeah, you joined us also in the in-person Instant Manifestation Workshop at the Shaman Shack.
Oh, yeah. I cooked everything.
Yep. There's in a lot of the lectures too.
Yeah, Larry asked a lot of really great questions to help us all learn from his questions on the lectures. Yep. That was nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's.
Thanks for joining, Larry.
Yeah.
And last, we have our newest facilitator, Adelina.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, so my name is Adelina. I am Romanian. Right now I'm in London, another manifestation. So yeah, I love applying the process of manifestation, and here we are, right? Yeah, very happy to be here. And training now, right? Training to become a facilitator. And I'm so excited about this, yeah, totally.
Yeah, and Adelina, she joined us in the second instant manifestation workshop that was completely online and virtual, and is now in a training program with our facilitators to become a facilitator.
Yeah.
So all of our
Thank
instant
you.
manifestors who join in the next instant manifestation workshop will be getting to see these fabulous faces on a regular basis and interact with us and working through their manifestation items and having our support with that.
Yeah. So back when we were all students, would love to hear from us. Why did you decide to enroll in the instant manifestation workshop back when you first joined as a student? So before facilitation happened, what was your why?
I can break the ice with a why.
Go for it.
I was just like, Inelia's offering a course. There's limited seats. I'm in. That was like the first response. Like, I got to get this spot quick.
Yep.
And then it was like, oh yeah, I could definitely benefit from that skill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can break the other ice. I joined and I said, yes, I'll do it. Even the facilitating part of it, which I'm was a little bit resistant to, honestly, because I just like cooking food. I don't like, showing up to all these meetings, all these trainings, and all these other things. But then at some point it became clear that, all these meetings, all these trainings, and all these things were illuminating all these little bits and bobs of things in my own self that make me not quite a great co-creator in some ways. And the whole instant manifestation workshop and all the training is making facilitating, maybe the right word, excellent co-creators for the high frequency paradigm that I want to experience. I mean, without this training, I'm not a very good co-creator, and neither is anybody else, because we're really good at co-creating what we already have, which is light dark reality. And the workshop trains us how to be better, clearer co-creators of the new paradigm, light reality.
Yeah.
That was what.
Wow, amazing.
And me to his reason too. Yeah. So true.
Great why for being a student and a facilitator. It's amazing. It's like the learning doesn't end after the workshop, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It goes forever.
Yeah. The stronger you become, the stronger we become, because our strengths are strength and your strengths are strength.
Yep.
Amazing. Thank you, Larry. Who else would like to share? Why did you decide to enroll as a student? Adelina, I saw your hand.
Yeah. Oh my God. So I remember I already had something on my mind that I really wanted to manifest. But what happened? It was like all the time, oh, the baby, oh, no time. Oh, then, doing it alone, it was kind of always finding something else, like it was emergent, right? And I said, oh, in this way, I think I won't manifest this like in this life. So then when I heard about instant manifestation, I said, oh my God, this is like my chance, right? And then I started working towards it and make it a reality. And then I manifested it, right? And it was, the best decision, I think. Yeah.
Awesome. What was it? Do you mind sharing what it was that you manifested?
I'm still working on it. So my item still didn't manifest because I'm really working on it. Well, it's not like really not at all, but I feel I'm making progress. So there is a lot of progress towards it and achieving it. So it helped me a lot to achieve the focus and become really like, now I know what I have to do. I have the tools. So I'm really focused and I'm into it. Like, yeah. Yeah, so I made a lot of progress with it.
Nice job.
Yeah. Thank you.
I can share next. Of course, just knowing that it's information from Inelia, I think I was the second one, like clicking the button, I'm in, like, you know, it's a very good information, and that the tools and the information works, like really works. So I already manifested a couple times when I was in mentoring with her. So it was like almost impossible not to, you know, pass this opportunity. And also I love when it's like a group creation kind of thing, when you get together with other people with the same purpose, it's just so powerful. Like it really, you get a lot of insights rather than on your own. And yeah, I mean, you know what to do, you have the tools, but doing it with other people, I mean, it's just amazing. Like you hear all the insights from everybody, and it just adds to your own expansion of awareness, and your own adds to the others. So it makes it really powerful. My why, it was really like curiosity about more information. I didn't have something like I wanted to manifest, like specifically like, oh, I need to join because I need to manifest this. But since I joined the tribe in the Olympic Peninsula, it's just been really nice. It's just, you know, that the community feeling, it's just amazing. It's really, really nice. So yeah, it's more about that, like what Larry said too, co-creating with other powerful people. You don't know exactly what, but you know that it's gonna co-create cool things.
So true.
Exactly right. I don't know what everybody's going to come up with, but I know it's going to be awesome.
Yep. Just the fact knowing that everyone does their work, you know, because that's it, right? Mm-hmm. Like you can't be a part of the instant manifestation workshop and just post it or like hang out. Like that's not what it is. It's very proactive. There's a lot of prerequisite work. And so that alone already, you know, it's like, oh yeah, everyone's like on their game and we're going to create something really awesome together.
And because of that, we can get so much more done too. Like we can make a lot of progress because we're not like working with the basics. And even if we are, we know what to do. We know how to respond.
Right.
I think I can say my why with regards why did I enroll to instant manifestation workshop. Actually, I have two whys. One is post-processing, post-workshop, and the other one is the why that I had at that time. And at that time, when I saw the invitation that Inelia posted, I was like, I started asking questions in the thread, and I for details more specifically. And Inelia said, okay, I'll add you to the group, and if you cannot make it, you can left the group, no problem. I said, okay, fine. And after that, all the orchestrations came into alignment, and basically I manifested the money. I was about to get a bonus from the company that I was working at the time, and everything fits perfectly. I had my visa 8 months later. at my 8 months earlier done, and everything was just perfect. The only thing I had to do was to do all the prerequisites, which was
yeah, enough said, we get it.
Yep.
Visa and bonuses and all that other stuff, that was easy, but there was a lot of prerequisites.
And just so students know, there is some time the first couple of weeks to catch up on prereqs. Even if you don't have everything done right when you register, there is some time to do that. So we got your back.
It's funny coming into the prereq part because I had done all the courses. So I thought, oh, yeah, no problem. But when you do them with a group of people and in the energy of the workshop is totally different. I'm like, wow, like realizations, mind blown, like things that I didn't see before or make connection to before start becoming visible.
Yeah. Expansion of awareness, right?
Exactly.
Alex, you mentioned something that we'd like to dig into a little bit. And this is for all of us on the call. First, well, what is an ego crash? And have you experienced it before? And if so, how did you respond?
Oh yeah, it's common these days. Well, the first ego crash that I've experienced with regards the instant manifestation experience was one day after the workshop was finished. When I started realizing that I have to go home, I mean, not I have to, but the things will go back into their normal way of doing. And then was the first time when I realized that, oh my God, I don't want to do that. I just want to stay in that energy. And I felt how the energy was dissipating, and everybody felt like everybody was going back to their business somehow. Not 100%, but there was a percentage there that it felt that way. And the way I respond to it, well, I think the most amazing thing is exercise is the fear processing exercise that says, let it spend. And this is what I usually do. I let it spend, and I take care of all of my bodies to make sure that making sure that we are safe and we are secure in that space.
Yeah, nice example. That does happen. I think there's an article on ineliabenz.com about ego crashes post-event. And you do start to feel it a little bit as nearing the end of the event, and people start thinking about life outside of the workshop or life, what they're going back to.
Yeah. Not everyone will experience it as well. But it can happen. And one of the things that we look at the end of the workshop is coming up with a game plan with your allies and your good counsel, the group, your students, your facilitators, coming up with a game plan of like, okay, we're going back to daily life, normal life of what it was before. But it can't really go back to what it was before because you've done all this work, right? So together we make, a game plan of like, how are we going to continue to connect and stay in high frequency and have an action plan so that we stay on our items and recruit allies and keep it going. So it's something that we also look at very closely together at the end of the workshop is how can we continue to be successful throughout the process. But sometimes, it happens anyways. And when the energies shift, it can go back to the, way it was before, supposedly, the ego can kind of kick up and react a bit. So it is normal, and you're not alone when that happens.
I think I even have an ego crash during the workshop. Like it started earlier. It's not fun at some point, but also it's really good because you have all these allies and all that you can ask questions and you can feel the support as well. But yeah, after just remembering after the workshop, I remember like a few days after I went to Mike and my husband, Mike, and I was like, Mike, call me, like, oh, I missed you. It was just to have the sense of safety and comfort and just what like that is safe. And I remember, and he's like, what happened? I don't know, just call me. But I think the team did an awesome job keeping us connected. It was a very beautiful transition into keep on going, like the momentum. And because sometimes you attend to other workshops and that's it, you go and you're on your own. And this was very pointed to focusing on together, like doing it together, like we are together, and keep the connection, building a tribe of manifestators. So it was really nice. Yeah.
How would you describe an ego crash?
Let's see. Well, for me, during the workshop, my ego got triggered a lot. So when you're like all in the me, myself, and I, and like you're freaking out and fear and, you know, there's a lot of that. But it's good because for me, it was looking at, okay, what programs are here that I need to process? And that's one of the nice things that I really enjoyed about the workshop is that I had to look at my stuff, you know, and it's not that like other people were responsible for it. Like I'm responsible for dealing with my triggers, my ego and my stuff, you know, when we're not in, doing the work. And so it was good. It gave me good feedback about where I'm at. I'm like, oh, I've got some things to work on still. Okay. So making lists and notes about got to process this, got to process that. But I don't think I was the only one that experienced that. And it was great because we dealt with it and then moved on and did other cool stuff. So it's like a supercharged fast track to, you know, just becoming more and more powerful and clear, like energetically clear, so that we can focus on really cool stuff. Like, what do we want to manifest together? Or what do I want to manifest for my life? And so it was just really great. But when you're in it, it's like, oh, the worst. But at the same time, I think a lot of us know what that's like. So even in that sense, like we're not alone.
Well, we have the tools to respond. And really, like, to me, the ego crash is a symptom of your ascension that can happen. It doesn't always happen, but it can happen. And in this situation, it's one of those things where you are like expanding your awareness so much and you're with a group, and programs of separation that you've been carrying can get triggered. Defensiveness, that's a sign of getting an ego trigger, right? Getting defensive. Even feeling like just like fears coming up and other things to that, I'm never going to be the same again, or I don't know how to do this, and, you know, whatever it might be. And I've experienced it for sure during the workshop. But the greatest thing for me in that experience was once I kind of got out of my own way and out of my own head, and me, myself, and I shared with the peers and people on this call, is like one that was like a big,
really, yeah, me too.
There's like it's like really in our strength is your strength is our strength. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, okay, like I can do this. I can process this as I know how to do this. This is a fear. I know how to process that fear. Okay. And then process it, and boom, like the group energy is there too. So it feels like the processing happens even faster. So your like level of ascension and speed of ascension with the group, it's just first doing it on your own is like lightning bolt, you know, it's much faster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not to mention, you know, when you're doing it with the group egos become a thing. And that's kind of what the ego crashes are, a shared ego crash in a way. I think of like climbing a mountain, you know, climbing a mountain is work. It's going up a hill, you know, and you're climbing a mountain with 5 or 6 people, and when you climb in a mountain together, other people's blisters start to fester or hurt in their shoes, and their problems become your problems because, hey, we're trying to climb this mountain together. You should have worn those moleskins I told you to wear, or whatever, you know? And so the group ego things bounce off of each other. But, you know, you get to the top of the mountain together, it's an amazing thing. And you might even call the helicopter together and say, you know, skip this walking. I got a helicopter. You don't know what this group's going to come up with. That's the thing. Yeah. So it's not just about your own ego crash or before or after. It is a group thing, and that is why they're not visible so much, because usually the groups that you function with sort of empower those ego crashes to stay current. Those are the ones that are creating the light dark real that we're already experiencing. So they like help you continue these not wearing your moleskins and getting blisters, because that's a limitation that you as a group agreed to, keep. So I think it's important to realize or remember, or at least acknowledge, that these ego crashes are because we're doing something completely different together.
Yes. Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just because the workshop ends doesn't mean that the work or the collaboration and the co-creations need to end.
No, because that's when it just starts.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's true.
Yep.
Yeah, that's when it really gets started. Mm-hmm. Well, and it's really a great analogy into Alex's point earlier, like taking care of the physical body, covering your bases, making you're sleeping enough, making sure you're eating well, you're well hydrated, you're moving your body, you're getting physical exercise, time outside. I think we had one person in our workshop at the Shaman Shack in the first instant manifestation workshop who at least seemed to breeze right through it. But that person she was super, super diligent on covering all those bases, and some of us are like, oh, I'm just gonna go back to bed. I'm gonna take a nap. I'm not moving, which, and it's fine, but, it's not totally what the body needed. Right. Yeah. So, there's definitely the mountain analogy, and climbing up a mountain feels really relevant to this. Like, you got to pause sometimes, take a breath, get some water, check out the view, enjoy it together, maybe take some photos.
Yep. And a lot of those prereqs are like training for the mountain, right? Like whether it's, going for a hike, Ascension 101, or whatever. How should you plan your hike on the mountain? Rules of engagement, whatever. And then sometimes when you're in it, you might just manifest a helicopter and go to the top too. That can happen. So it's a really fun experience.
And sometimes you're like wondering, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do it. I see that peak. I'm not sure if I can get there. And somebody shows up and hands you a lollipop and you're like, thank you. Perfect.
It grabs your hand and hoists you over the rock.
Gives you a cup of water. We had lollipops in our first workshop, I think, being handed out.
Yeah. Here's a lollipop.
Yeah. The physical bodies liked that.
So that's, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. In those moments, this is what I wanted to add, that in those moments, we also find it very useful to just organize some chit chats, like some Zooms, and let's just talk, just whatever shows up, and like friends, and have a talk, and like very relaxed, very supportive, and suddenly it feels like, oh, wait a minute, it's not that I don't know, like like that ego, like that makes you feel like bad, or like this is hard, or and suddenly you realize, oh my God, wait a minute, it's not like that. What's going on here? Okay. And then everything comes back to like a lot easier, and you start to have ideas, and suddenly the world changes, right? And I say, oh my God, so this is the power of having this group, and be able to share with them and have a talk like between friends, and then suddenly the whole picture changes. Yeah.
So true.
Yeah, it's all about connection, right? The more connected we become, the more, the easier it becomes, and the more we can do as well.
Yeah.
So what about our experience, either as a facilitator or working with a facilitator, because we've all done both? What's been our experience as far as how facilitators make it easier for students during this experience, throughout the workshop?
Well, I'll start by saying that taking care of or being aware that we're having a new workshop and we're going to meet new people, maybe all people that we already know, but maybe some new people. This makes me think about processing if there's something about it, if there are programs processing our stuff, or fears of meeting new people, or hanging out, or allowing ourselves to be visible by them, or something like that. So I think the point is make sure that the connection is established properly, and is basically working on the connection.
Yeah, it felt to me like facilitators were like present and involved and experienced people that you as a student, or as, you know, as a student, I guess the only word I could engage personally with long enough so that you can drop your personas and be who you really are with each other. You know, you become friends, you know, so not just, I know that person, I go to school and they're there all the time. They're like very, very perceptive people, you know, awake and trained and knowledgeable people who are your friends well enough that you share your details with. And, you know, like I say, drop your persona and become who you really are instead of the thing or the person that you want everybody to think you are, and actually get into the details of, hey, what's limiting me? And a lot of times, you know, we have personal things limiting us, and it's not something you just want to blab to anyone. You know, you got to make friends first before we trust you with our personal information, right? So facilitators, there are that in some cases, you know, and they're also trained. So it's like a safe person. You don't have to go like try to share your personal details with Inelia. That'd be kind of hard. But Larry, that's fine. You can just talk to Larry about those dirty socks, no sweat. Right?
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I you know, I remember one time during one of the labs, I can't remember which one, I had been working on my items, and Ileana was my facilitator, right? And the whole group, the whole lab, everybody was supporting. And at one point, one of my items was to manifest a high frequency husband. And I was in a relationship, and I decided, you know what? I have a boyfriend. I don't need this item. And I took it out, you know, I took it off the list. And Ileana was like, wait a minute, you know, that's not quite, you haven't manifested that. That's not done, you know, like you don't have, you know, you're not engaged. It hasn't been set, like all these things like that I wanted, it wasn't actually like achieved. But my kind of sabotage, or they'll say like program around it, was like, oh yeah, I'm done. I'm going to take it off the list. You know, I really want it, but I'm going to take it off the list. It's good. It's fine. It's happening. It's inevitable. And you know what? That person did not end up being my high frequency husband, fortunately. And I kept the item though. So I could actually manifest that high frequency husband. Mm-hmm. So thanks, Ileana.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Having another pair of eyes to help us see our blind spots is super helpful. And then as a facilitator, for me, it's really amazing to expand my awareness by looking at items with other people, right? And seeing new ways to manifest something. Because a lot of the stuff that we want to manifest, it's not that different from one another. You know, like there are some key themes. It could be like new relationship or career, or maybe where you live, or maybe it is something like buying a car or whatever. And there's some similarities, some differences, but it's like, I feel like as a facilitator, I learn just as much as students learn. So it's this amazing chi exchange of co-creation and expansion of awareness, and also just that amazing satisfaction when someone empowers themselves by using the tool. It's just like the best thing ever for me personally. And so my experience as a facilitator in many ways is like just redoing the work over and over, but doing it with others from an expanded perspective. And that I feel like helps all of us become more successful. It's like our strength is your strength, your strength's our strength. And it's different after each time. Every person's unique and the process is the same, but it's also a new experience every time, which I really enjoy.
Yes, my experience as a facilitator is a lot of what everybody's been sharing. That expansion of awareness as a group, it's really, really nice. It's just like, oh my God, like, wow. And when you see others, even within the facilitators, when there's some ahas and things that they share and they add to how you can perceive, or, you know, even like sometimes you have an information and it starts sinking more, because sometimes it's more like intellectual, you know that, but the more and more that you start hearing it and seeing it in others, it becomes like something natural, something that you don't even have to think about it, but it's just part of who you are. Or, I'm sorry, little mosquito here. Yes, that, and that the also I think Kara mentioned it, the satisfaction of when anybody has an aha and it's like you see that kind of joy and like, oh yeah, or you manifested something. It's just amazing, because you know they're I mean, you want to have a super capable people around you and around co-creating things, right? And yeah, that's yeah, it satisfies just seeing people having success, or yeah, it does.
When we step out of me and myself and we see other people's manifestations as a manifestation without any judgment, suddenly it becomes that feeling of, yay, he did it, she did it. Although it maybe it's not mine, but it's irrelevant. It's ours. And that energy, that feeling is brought into the planet. And I think it's 100% valuable and mappable, of course, because now we are aware we can copy stuff in a way that we can use others' ideas, for example, to use in our items or way of thinking or train of thoughts, stuff like that.
Well said. Yeah, seeing a student manifest something, going from it was like this idea to like, guys, I did it. Look, I did it. And then that like shared victory, that shared success is just so awesome, because it's like our success, right? And that like that cheering and just that feeling of connection, and we did it. Look, it works. Oh, it's awesome. It's just so fabulous.
Oh yeah, and I want to share that each time, each one of us that were manifesting their item and sharing it with the whole group, it was like, oh my God, yes, it is possible. So of course. So it was like recharging us, right? The whole group, and saying, oh my God. So if he could do it, I can do it. If she could do it, I can do it. And it was like charging a lot of energy, and it was, yeah, okay, good. So it felt like, oh my God, so much energy and so refreshing. And in the relationship with the facilitators, guys, I mean, I remember, I was like, very, having those things should happen this way, right? And having those perfect pictures, maybe somebody relates to that, like things should be this way and that way. And then what happened is that the facilitators come in and say, but what about that way? Or what about this way? And what about that thing? And I was like, what? Oh, so there are several ways to achieve this. So suddenly, what was so hard, because I was thinking this can happen and can be achieved through this specific method or whatever, suddenly I see several options and I say, oh my God, okay, so this becomes so much easier. You are not stuck to something like that, because I could not see like, and suddenly things become so much easier. Yeah, Yeah. That was a really nice experience to expand my awareness and accept and really start applying various methods and be more open to achieve my items through several options. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, that's one thing that happens too, even when it's not just through, it can be through communicating and sharing stories or ideas and perspectives. And at the same time, there's this energetic thing that happens during the workshop where we all enter in a field together, right? Like to Larry's analogy, we're on that mountain together, and it's like we become move into this energy together. And there's even this aspect of mapping that happens. And Inelia's talked about this a number of times, in particular on Walk With Me Now, about how we can map to somebody and their experiences, right? So as students, mapping to facilitators who've actually been through it and actually used the tools and processed it, done the work, the students already are starting to get a perspective. It's like being on that mountain with a guide who already knows the trail. So it's like, you don't have to necessarily be navigating and using your compass and pull out your map and figure out where are we going. It's like, you can just focus on one step and the next step and the next step, because your guide's there, because your guide already knows that trail. They already know they can pull out the compass if they need it, but they've already got it on point, you know?
Mm-hmm. One of the things that blows my mind in this workshop was that please copy. And I noticed that my upbringing, it was just so deep, the program of you cannot copy anybody. You have to have your own ideas. You have to be original. You have all these rules, and they just create division or like separation instead of, please be successful. Yes, please just come and copy whoever had already done it. It was like, wait, what? I love that one. It's like always present, like, wait, what?
Like, oh, that's a good manifestation item. I'm taking that one.
Yes.
Great one. I like it. Yeah. Yeah. Is there anything else I wanted to share or talk about?
Any final thoughts?
We are awesome.
We are.
Join the awesomeness.
Yes.
I would also like to add that after the course, there's not possible to be the same, and things change. And each time you want to manifest something, you won't see the things the same way as before. I mean, since I finished I was part of the last instant manifestation workshop, and since then we've manifested several things, and with each item we were like really like following the steps, and we were like, wow, one more step, another step, and one more, and we could feel and we could see, like, by applying the tools, how much progress we are making towards our goal, right? And that feels so rewarding, yeah.
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
Well, facilitators, it's so awesome having you here. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for your co-creation in the Instant Manifestation Workshop. The energies of the next workshop are already starting, and it's powerful. So that's been really exciting for us to hear, seeing it, feeling it, observing it. And for those listening, if you want to join the Instant Manifestation Workshop and these amazing facilitators, we have registration open until
March 19th.
Thank you. And then the workshop begins on March 26th.
Yep. So it's not too late. Join today. You've got this amazing team of good counsel and good allies here, ready to help you be successful in becoming an instant manifester. So join us.
iBenzAcademy.com. We'll see you there.
Thank you, facilitators.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
facilitators.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao.